Hi guys, I am back and I have a new video. And this video was actually going to be about intentions. And intentions are something that's really important to me, and why and when and how I do what it is I do every day. I used to live in a place of a lot of intense fear. It was really sort of like a survival kind of existence because of some situations that happened in my past. And for a very, very, very long time, I was doing everything out of fear. I was doing everything out of concern for my physical safety and that of my family. So it never really could have dawned on me to live from a place of intention of what did I intend. Everything for me had just been, how do I keep myself safe? How do I keep my family safe? How do I, get to the next safe space? And it's just been like the last 5 years, I would have to say, that I've really had a chance to like stop living in all of that and to really be in a place of like, okay, I don't have to run or hide or fight for my life anymore. How do I live in this life? And that's when I came to really understand about intention. Yeah, intention. Intention is, in my understanding and how I understand it to be, the reason why you do what it is that you do. So, for example, for a quick example, why are you sitting there eating those bag of chips? Are you hungry or is it for another reason? And as simple as that may seem, we know with a bag of chips, imagine having to apply that to your entire life and everything that you do. And you'd understand the magnitude and the scope of what I had to really undertake as an adult in living differently and not living in fear or operating from fear or survival. Um, and it's a really big shift. Some people have it where they don't have to think about those things because they didn't have to go through a trauma necessarily or an event in their life that caused them to have to live in fear or live from something else. They were able to have the space and the time, and I don't want to say luxury, but kind of the luxury of thinking, why am I doing this, or what's my motivation behind going forward with this plan. And that's great for them. But I feel, a lot of other people that didn't, have that time and that luxury to be able to sit and ask themselves, why am I doing this? And a lot of people, I think, don't know that they can sit and ask themselves, why am I doing this? And to examine why they're doing the particular thing that they're doing, whether it be drugs, whether it be drinking, whether it be eating, whether it's promiscuity, whether it's dangerous activities. There are a lot of people that do a lot of things and they have no idea why it is that they're doing them. And I wanted to make this video because I wish there was something out there. Because for me, I feel anyway, when you become an adult, it's like you're supposed to know. And it really changed my perception and understanding when I came to the realization, like, half the people are just like winging it. They don't know. They're, in the same boat that I am. They're trying to figure it out as they go along. And it really was an eye opener for me because, like I said, for many, many years, I lived in fear. I operated from fear. My decisions were based out of fear. And that sort of survival instinct was always there. And let me tell you, it's a really stressful harder way to live. So I'm hoping that by making this video about intention, that it'll be able to help somebody to know that they don't have to live, in that horrible kind of way that I had been living in for so long. So a couple of things about intention for me and my understanding of it is that basically it's the understanding of why you're doing what it is that you're doing. What part of you is it serving for you to continue doing what it is that you're doing? And there's a couple of things that I've actually learned when it comes to delving deeper into the why of what you're doing, why you're doing something. There are two things that you can serve. You can either serve your ego, which is that part of you that shows its ass and gets out of pocket, or you can serve yourself. And that is a part of you, for me anyway, that is everyday. That's like, the social part, that is the part of me that is human and that's humane. And whenever I've based my intention out of my ego, things have gone horribly wrong. I can give you example over example of things I've done out of ego that have totally blown up in my face and like pushed me flat on my ass. And it took me this last situation that I was in, which was a really big one, and it took me falling on my ass for me to really stop and realize where I was operating out of when it came toward intentions. My intentions were not pure. My intentions were not altruistic. My intentions were very self-serving. My intentions were very, I don't want to say mean necessarily, but they weren't good. They were not good. And it took that happening for me to really get that if I want things to be good in the long term, that I need to operate out of the self that is vulnerable, out of the self that is humble, out of the self that has real needs. And when I do things from that part of me, from that humane, that human part of me, I tend to take in more information of the situation and handle things better and really understand why I'm doing what I'm doing and to understand the long-term ramifications of what I'm doing. So just, I'm not going to go into that particular example that knocked me down, but my long-standing, self-feud is with food. I have issues with food, and that'll be another video I'm going to have to make because that's too long. I'm already at 8 minutes. But I have a long-standing situation with food, and I had to continuously get to the point where I'm like, why am I eating this? If it's not because I'm hungry, then I don't need to be eating it. And I had to get like that with myself concerning food. And my ego was always saying, like, you could have it. What's the problem? It's only one. It's only one. It's only one right now. It's only one cookie or one serving of ice cream right now. And then when I'm feeling bad again, or I'm nervous again, or I'm anxious again, it'll be another one then too. So I had to really get into myself and be like, okay, Sandra, you're not hungry, so you need to put those chips down. You're feeling anxious. What can you do to help mitigate that anxious feeling? What can you do to distract yourself? Maybe you can go ride around the block once or twice. Maybe you can just call somebody. Maybe you can play a card game or a video game. Maybe you go watch something interesting on TV. And I had to really understand my intentions. What were my intentions to myself? Did I intend to continue eating terribly and harming myself and putting myself at risk for diabetes, which runs in my family, for heart conditions, for other kinds of sicknesses? Or is my intention for myself to be as healthy as possible, to live as long as possible, and to have as best quality of life as possible? And sometimes, guys, it really just comes down to that. Understanding what your intention is in whatever it is that you're doing. And when I really got honest and real with myself about that, it changed my life. Not just in terms of like my food situation, which is like a long story, but another video. But in terms of the ways that I deal with people, in terms of the ways that I deal with myself, in terms of the ways that I handle different situations, and how I view the world. So, for anyone out there that has, is finding themselves continuously in the same position, stop and ask yourself, why is it that you're doing or making the decisions that you're making? Why is it that you're doing the things that you're doing the same way every time? And really try to be easy with yourself. You don't have to come up with the answer like that very moment, but take some time and think about it. And once you have a clear understanding about why you're doing what you're doing, then you can go forwards and make changes so that way you don't repeat and you don't wind up in the same situation and you don't wind up eating those bag of chips at 2 o'clock in the morning because you're nervous or anxious or whatever. Think about what you're doing, guys, and why you're doing it, and whether it's serving your ego or whether it's serving yourself. And that will help, I hope, in your relationships with people and in yourself. So that's my video on intentions. I am at 12 minutes. Oh my God. I hope that it helps somebody. And I hope that it was clear, If you have any questions or any suggestions or anything, go ahead and inbox me. And until the next video, I want you guys to take care of yourselves. I want you guys to take care of your life. And I want you guys to take care of each other. Okay? All right. See you next time. Bye.